Last few days, videos of police personnel walking local strongmen reportedly linked to the Trinamool Congress through the streets in undergarments have gone viral on social media. In one of the videos, an accused is seen being marched through the streets in his undergarments. In another clip, a local TMC ward functionary is seen being taken and walked in handcuffs, policemen in tow. In another such video, a former home guard with a rope tied around his waist was also paraded through the streets. The police said that the accused was taken onto the walk to help investigation, and investigators verify structural evidence, revisit crime scenes and trace the workings of his alleged local extortion network. In North Howrah, police escorted Akash Singh through local neighborhoods as part of a formal crime scene reconstruction. He is also known as Don Akash Singh in northern Howrah. Singh, who was arrested on 14th of May, faces over 20 criminal cases. And during the crime scene reconstruction exercise, the accused was led in handcuffs, wearing only a sleeveless vest and boxer shorts, with his head and face completely shaven. In a separate operation, a team from the Shivpur police, along with central paramilitary forces, paraded local TMC Ward 36 President Shamim Ahmed, alias Bade or Gabbar, further south in Howrah district. The police in Sankrel, in a joint operation with central paramilitary forces, paraded Sahin Mola, alias Sunny, through his locality in the Beltala area with a rope tied around his waist. In another instance, TMC leader's close aide Dhananjay Garai was beaten up by locals by slippers. TMC Sheikh Bappa and Jahangir Ghazi were tied with ropes and paraded by the cops as well. TMC criticized the parades as a violation of the basic principles of the law and human rights and likened the exercise to those of a circus troupe. The police parading of the underwear-clad TMC-linked members by the police in Howrah is part of a wider statewide law and order crackdown initiated by the Suvendu Adhikari-led West Bengal government. The drive has triggered a wave of arrests targeting TMC workers and leaders across the state. We'll talk about this and how is this perceived upon with some of our panelists who are joining us at this point in time. Dr. S.K. Datta, international conservative expert. Mr. Abhishek Banerjee, political analyst, is with us on the show. Ambassador Bhaspati Mukherjee, former diplomat, joins us on the program. And Buroshiva Das Gupta, senior journalist, is with us on the program as well. Appreciate everybody being here. Ambassador Mukherjee, I'll begin with you. Well, this is not geopolitics, but you are a native of West Bengal. You hold that state very dear to your heart. What's happening here? Do you endorse this kind of a parading?
Well, my parents are not natives of West Bengal. They come from Dhaka, Bikrampur. But yes, after partition, we moved to West Bengal. I am not aware of the background of parading people in this manner. But I have always said that we should respect rule of law. I'm surprised that there are so many so-called dons or mafia or extortionists. Some of my friends in West Bengal had told me about such cases. Since I live in Delhi, I didn't know that they were so numerous, and I did not realize that they were all linked to the former ruling party. But whatever it be, I do believe that we should ensure that whoever is guilty of whatever is tried under rule of law, and that the judicial process which is there for every Indian should apply to them. In the same way as we have insisted, if you recall, Vineet, during the worst period of Muhammad Yunus, when Hindus were being picked up and were being tortured or were being paraded, we said that there must be rule of law must prevail. So I would say the same. I don't know whether the local police are involved or it is the residents who are involved, because you said that some were being beaten up by strippers. In West Bengal, in Bengal, where I come from, beating up with strippers used to be, when I was a kid, a way of showing displeasure. The other way would be that the ladies would come down and they would beat their pants to show that they are displeased by what is happening. There are Bengali words for it, which my Bengali co-panelists will understand, but not your audience, so I won't use them. But, in Bengal, we For instance, before independence, my father told me that collaborators were always hanged from the nearest tall people tree. When I asked my father, I said, Baba, is this according to rule of law? So he said, this is the rule for collaborators. This is how Bengal treats collaborators. So we are a forward state. We have gone through so many invasions. We have our own way to protect our culture, our civilization, our language, our values, our theatre, our music. We have produced Nobel laureates, and we usually respect rule of law. If these things are happening, it means that local people must be very angry. But I'm sure, like most Bengalis, including myself, we will all cool down in a few days, and everything will go back to normal. That is what I feel beneath, and I'm sure that can be enforced because it doesn't give a good impression of India outside India to see such scenes, and nor does it give a good image of Bengal outside Bengal. I'm sitting in Delhi and I'm getting so many phone calls about this. So I do hope in a couple of days' time things calm down. Those who are extortionists should be tried under law. Those who have misbehaved should be tried under law, etc., so that everything comes back to normal. Vinny.
Dr. Datta, how are you looking at this? Is this the initial excitement of power that is hell bent on punishing its adversaries from the past administration, or do you think there is some technicality whereby these people have to be paraded and mortified like this?
Vinay, I would say it is not the initial excitement of power. It is actually the, it's
It's
actually
an old grudge.
It's not only a grudge. It is actually the anger which has been there for last 15 years among the common people of Bengal against all these, molesters, rapists, goons, and thugs who have nakedly looted the state. And all these who are being paraded with their undergarments today, or women beating them up with slippers as well as with brooms, in Bangla, which we call jhata peta, beating them or thrashing them with brooms. This is something which is manifesting
Well,
now.
you said something that's made Basu Mukherjee smile
Yes.
very hard. I've never seen her smile so wide.
She must have understood what I said,
Would you want to elaborate for our non-Bengali viewers
Well,
as
it
well?
means, you are thrashing up the, the culprits and the
Jhata
offenders.
peta, is that what you said?
Yes, jhata peta, thrashing up the culprits or the goons with broom. And it has been a tradition in Bengal. This culture was more prevalent in East Bengal or in Purbo Bangla. And now it is also prevalent in West Bengal, because in West Bengal also we have a lot of Bengal, or the Bengalis from Purbo Bengal or from Bangladesh. So it's obvious that things do get reflected. Now, why this is happening? This is happening because all these offenders, they are not only thugs and goons who have plundered the common people of their money, but they are also criminals, they are murderers, they are rapists, and they are molesters. If you look into their past history, all these offenders, they have cases of sexual harassment, of rapes, of molestation, eve-teasing, murder, attempt to murder, and whatnot. So it's quite obvious that people would take out their frustration and their anger for the last 15 years of the misrule of TMC. And I think gradually within another 6 months or so, this thing will definitely cool down and the situation will improve. But if right now, if the government tries to obstruct the people who were baying for their blood for the last 15 years, but they were handcuffed because of the nexus of the Bengal police with the TMC Karyakarta and with the top leadership, and getting a blanket cover from the former chief minister, this anger has to come out, and this will come out. If it is not taken out now, later on it can take a different kind of a manifestation, and there might be mayhem in the state in future. So because of that, I think this is the initial reaction. Gradually things will cool down, and the way things are in Bengal. Very soon, Bengal in another 3.5 months time or 2.5 months time will go into the festive mode. Durga Puja coming, Kali Puja, Lakshmi Puja, all this coming. So naturally things will get diluted and things will change. But I think initial treatment was needed so that in future no one dares to do this kind of things.
All right,
And I think it's a good way
Let
of
me
doing
also rope in Mr. Dasgupta into this conversation. Mr. Dasgupta, okay, I understand. You need to send some message. You need to, in fact, tell people, not to go against the law. But does it have to be done in an unlawful way?
Well, I mean, as my previous speakers have been saying, that it is letting out steam. For the last 15 years, this pent-up anger is important that it comes out. But of course, it shouldn't be going against the law and order of the state. But I think this may not be, going out of hands. It will be strongly, held back by the police forces, because I have seen that in the previous regime, the chief minister and they have been very pally with the police forces also, and the police forces also were hand in glove with these anti-socials, if I can call them anti-socials. And this was more or less encouraged by the manner in which the police force was being used. But with the new government coming in, at least that has been made very clear that police will work the way it should. Though the institution of security should not be handled by the political force, which was being done in the last few years of Mamata Banerjee's rule. Now, these goons, and these local, these extortionists, this has become almost universal in the state. And this is not just happening in cases like, building a house or taking a shop. They had to pay this. This has become very common in today's Bengal. Cut money. They call a cut of any transaction that takes place. There has to be a percentage given to the middlemen, who are basically these the political, the goons and the rest. The political people. But what I fear, we all hope that this will not. This will be just an initial, letting out of steam, and this will settle down in the next few days or months. But I am not very hopeful, because, this riffraff or these extortionists, this was a team which moved from when in 2011 this shifted from the left to the Trinamool. The host of people who were extortionists in the left government moved into Trinamool, and I'm not too sure whether that will not happen again in 2026, when these goons will again move from Trinamool to the BJP. The BJP party, they are kind of being very strong, saying that no, there will be no one allowed to enter into the party. There will be a screening, but already the signs are that in fact the BJP the party president says there are good Trinamool and there are bad Trinamool, and that means a distinction that there is a possibility that they will move into the Trinamool. But that will be a real issue with the common man. We will go on suffering. The people will go on suffering by these underlings who have the habit of extorting common people. And because these politicians are depending on them, whether it is the councillors or and it is these elected councillors, they are and the persons who have been beaten up, which the things which we are seeing today, videos or these viral videos, but these are actual councillors of the particular locality who are being beaten up. They are the extortionists and their people, and the Shah Jahans and the Jahangirs. They are all elected members. They are people who have been extorting for years together. So this was inevitable. The people are very, very angry. They were terrorized. They couldn't go and vote properly. Now this time there has been good arrangements. The people could vote them out. That is a very good sign for the state. But then of these goons, because I have already seen that the Trinamool flags, for example, the auto rickshaws and the buses, small mini buses, these are earlier they were flying these Trinamool flags. Now all these flags have changed overnight, and they have these BJP flags fluttering in their auto rickshaws and everything. So
Right,
this is something which this will go on, move from one political alignment to another political power which comes. This has to stop. So
Okay.
the police force has to be given the powers to stop this incursion of these antisocial elements.
Let me also rope in Mr. Abhishek Banerjee. Mr. Banerjee, what do you make of this pent-up frustration which needs to go, or do you think this is going to set a tone and a culture also?
Yeah, so I will quickly basically make 3 points. First is that what we are seeing in West Bengal right now is quite extraordinary. Governments come in, the governments get voted out. But the outpouring that we are seeing among the common people, TMC leaders, they cannot step out onto the streets without people shouting chor chor at them. People are celebrating. They are doing impromptu skits in front of Bhaipo's house, mocking him, taunting him. It just shows just how angry people were. And this is totally organic. So that is point number 1. The second thing I would say is that the concerns about any form of vigilante justice or vigilantism are always fair. So what I would say to that is that, well, now West Bengal is under BJP rule, and I live in this country for a long time. With BJP rule comes media attention. So if BJP does anything, there's going to be media attention. And I believe that will keep a lid on any kind of such a vigilante activity. I mean, this is no longer TMC rule. People are right now finding out that, official and unofficial members of TMC, some of the biggest film stars of Bengal, last time in 2021, when the TMC won, they gave an open call on Facebook for World Lynching Day. This was done publicly by the biggest film stars in West Bengal, and nobody noticed because it was TMC rule. But now there is BJP rule, so I believe media attention will be focused on Bengal, and that will keep a lid on any kind of authoritarian tendency that the new ruling party might have. And the third point that I would say is that, because this needs to be put on record all the time, TMC rule was horrible, but the maximum criminality and reign of terror in Bengal has been done by the communists. There were 28,000 political murders under the rule of the CPIM, and this is the Communist Party government's own official data. So what is the unofficial data? I leave it to your imagination. So Bengal has been through a lot. The time for excuses is over. I know some of the MPs of the TMC would say that, violence is in the DNA of Bengal, and they would say Khudiram Bose was violent. So, if Khudiram Bose threw a bomb at a British judge, then why can't a TMC goon throw a bomb at an innocent person? But that era has ended. That dark chapter is over. Now it is something new that is happening in the state. Responsibility is on BJP, and I believe because BJP always gets much more media scrutiny than any other political party in the country, I am not really scared that this will change into some kind of vigilantism against any person in the state.
Absolutely. And Dr. Datta, this is in fact the culture that the BJP opposed and targeted Mamata Banerjee on. But let's also talk about the swiftness with which, some of the processes have been started by Suvendu Adhikari. Be it, some masjids that have to be relocated, or be it the fencing at the borders, which has been a pain point not only for West Bengal, but, the entire India because of the infiltration reasons. Do you think that is perhaps what was needed in West Bengal? And is this once again, at the cost of being repetitive, just the initial excitement, or there is a lot to do in West Bengal?
There is a lot to do in West Bengal. This is, of course, the initial excitement, but I understand, as I had said you last time also in one of your shows, that the coming 1.5 years would be a very, very, important and crucial period for the new government, because it is going to be heavily taxed 1.5 years, and there has to be a lot of cleaning which has to be done, not only from the panchayat or the grassroots level, but also in the bureaucracy, as well as in the police administration, in the media, name any platform. There has to be a lot of cleaning, and a lot of criminal elements are there in the academia, in the bureaucracy, in the media, in the police force, in the nook and corner of Bengal. So all these elements have to be flushed out. Second is, let me come to another very important aspect in this whole thing. I personally myself, I know that there are almost around 100 to 150 councillors who are desperately trying to get in an audience with the Bengal BJP or with the national BJP. There are around 20 to 22 member of parliament from the Trinamool Congress who desperately want to come over into the Bharatiya Janata Party. But I can assure you all that the BJP is a party which is not only regimented, but there is a lot of influence of the extended Sangh Parivar in it. The new government in Bengal is under the guidance and the watchful eyes of Nagpur. So no such things will be taken into consideration, and they might try, they are desperate, but they will not get any leverage, or they won't get any audience in Bharatiya Janata Party. BJP has enough cadre, and BJP has enough activists and supporters in Bengal, and we need to, respect their hard work for the last 15 years. Why last 15 years? I would say the last 50 years, 34 years of communist rule and 15 years of the TMC rule, the barbaric rule, So all the hard work of all these people and the martyrdom which the Karyakartas and the activists have attained in the bloodshed of the communist regime as well as the TMC regime, they need to be recognized, they need to be applauded, and they need to be given proper weightage. So with that kind of a thing in mind, I think BJP doesn't need any people from outside, whether it's from the left front or whether it's from the Congress or from the TMC. We have enough good people in our own party scheme of things, in our own organization, and I think that's more than enough. Today, the way the things are in Bengal and the kind of euphoria which is there among the common people for the new government of the BJP in Bengal, I think even an ordinary person who would contest in the councillors election or the panchayat election, he or she would win handsomely even without campaigning. The panchayat election is going to come very soon, and the municipal corporation election would be coming, especially the Kolkata municipal corporation election, and I can tell you, I can predict right now itself that it is going to be a one-sided victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
All right.
So with that kind of a scenario, we don't need imports
Okay,
from outside.
we've run out of time, but we've been able to assimilate a lot of favorable points in terms of these unfolding events in West Bengal. Would like to thank everyone for being a part of this conversation. We'll take a short break. Be right back.